An unlikely rescue at 4:30 this morning as out-of-towners realize they're the only ones around to save a family stranded on the roof of their burning house.
The whole front porch and front end was on fire. It was huge.
We wasn't going to let them die.
The Heralds call it divine intervention that led them down a dark Edgefield road. Good evening, I'm Christy Etheridge.
And I'm Laura Warren. That family is from Greenville. They were on the way to Doctor's Hospital for the birth of their grandchild. But when they drove past a massive house fire, they just knew they had to stop.
And thank goodness they did. They managed to save both people who lived in that house. Today I sat down with them to talk about their daring rescue. What would have been the boonies to anybody else was a familiar road to Shannon and Jennifer Harrell.
It's divine intervention because they hit a deer 20 years ago on that road. That's how my dad knew the name of the road.
But early this morning, that crisis 20 years ago helped them save someone else from what could have been a deadly night. In the middle of that dark road, they drove up on this and realized they were the only ones around.
Jumped out of the car. She started blowing the horn, because we knew there had to be people there, and we just didn't know if they were inside or whatever.
Turns out the people who lived there, Rusty and Deborah Prater, had escaped through a 2x2 bathroom window and were stranded on the roof.
Miss Prater was very distressed. She's like, I can't get down this, I can't get down this.
The smoke was so thick they couldn't see each other, so Shannon followed the man's voice, who tried to guide him to a ladder.
The man said that he had been yelling and trying to get help, but then all of a sudden he heard my husband's voice yelling at him. He didn't know who he was, and said it was just like an angel. He heard somebody yelling to help him.
This picture shows the flames engulfing the right side of the house, their Christmas tree peeking out a window on the left.
The whole front porch and front end was on fire. It was huge.
We wasn't going to let them die.
And thanks to their fearless and immediate action, they didn't. However, they did end up at the same hospital, meeting again in the ER. Just a little detour to their original destination, waiting on the birth of a baby, now celebrating 3 lives instead of 1. And we just heard back from the hospital. Mrs. Prater is in good condition, so that's good news. But Shannon also had to be checked out. He breathed in a lot of smoke, and he actually tore a muscle in his shoulder helping rescue them. But he said all of that was worth it.
But what a miracle, like the perfect timing. I feel like so many things aligned for them to be there at the right time.
They did. Okay, so listen to all of this stuff. So basically, the baby was due December 22nd, so they had driven down before, expecting the baby to be born then. So they already had been down here, so that was the first thing. Also, the mom was at work. She couldn't find anybody to cover for her, so they were late leaving, so that put them there at the perfect time.
Which was perfect.
Yes, and also because they hit that deer on that road, they knew the name of the road, so they could tell 911 immediately, right away, even though they were from out of town.
Nowhere, Edgefield County.
Yes, and really exciting news. Just minutes ago, we got pictures of that baby who was just born. It is a beautiful 9-pound baby girl named Arabelle. So just beautiful. I mean, it was the perfect ending to a really miraculous day.
And I love that. 3 lives instead of 1. What a celebration.